What's going on, you bunch of heathens? We're back with Yarnhub. Been a while since... has it been a while? It's been a bit since I done Yarnhub. This is one of their older ones. The ship the Japanese couldn't sink. I don't know when I added this to the list for me to check out, but it's been there. And I wanted to... like I said, I wanted to check it out. I had it on my list. And can't wait. It seemed like a good enough day to check it out. And as always, link below. Go and check out the original. Give them their love, like it, comment on it, all that jazz. Yeah. Till next, that's my outro. Let's jump in. This is Laffey. Oh, okay, so 22 kamikazes. Okay.
It's 4:30 a.m.
USS
on April
Laffey, that's what it
16th,
was.
1945. The Battle of Okinawa. A sailor struggles to keep awake in the destroyer, the USS Laffey. The radar ping.
Oh, okay, so this is... Okay, good to know. This has to do with the
In
Battle
front
of
it,
Okinawa.
and
Good
multiple
to
enemy
know.
contacts appear. The man snaps awake and sounds the alarm.
Man, that would wake anyone up.
A siren blares, and across the ship, sailors run for their positions. Commander F. Julian Beckton bursts into the bridge, demanding updates.
Multiple contacts. Closest 20 miles out. But it's turning away again.
Beckton's adrenaline immediately wears off, and the gathered officers groan with various levels of frustration.
Dude, that fucking, like, you have the spike of adrenaline and then just the instant crash hearing that. Goddamn. Also, that, his voice, that sailor's
updates.
voice.
Multiple contacts. Closest 20 miles out. But it's turning
Why does his voice sound so familiar?
Beckton's adrenaline immediately wears off, and the gathered officers groan with various levels of frustration. The Japanese have been doing this the whole night, poking into their radars just
it
enough
doesn't
to
tell
get
me.
them to act, and then leave.
Oh, I didn't know they had a
On purpose.
podcast.
They're trying to keep us tired for an attack.
Silence reigns
That's
over
cool.
the bridge. No one lets it show.
Who
but
voices
they're all
him?
afraid. They're acting as a radar station right in the path between mainland Japan and
okay.
the ongoing operations in Okinawa.
Maybe
The
one of
Laffey
y'all
is
can
the
tell
first
me.
thing every Japanese fighter, bomber, and kamikaze sees on their way to battle. Multiple ships trying to
looking
man
ship.
this post have been hit by kamikazes, suffering heavy casualties.
Holy shit. Was that first one?
Ships trying to man this post have been hit by kamikazes.
USS Lindsay. Yeah, severely damaged. That's a bit of a fucking understatement, wouldn't you say?
Suffering heavy casualties.
Keep the men on station.
That's
rotate them as needed.
insane.
We can't afford to take an eye off the sky.
Backup
Oh, so
flies
that's why
above
he's
their heads.
tired.
It's 3 divisions of F4U Corsairs, nicknamed the Grim Reapers.
God, I
These
love the
warriors of the
F4Us.
sky are the first line of defense. But at 7:30 a.m.,
The Reapers of the
things start to go
Sky.
wrong.
Dope ass.
Reapers, do you copy? Reapers, do you copy?
Contact with the Corsairs is lost. Beckton is horrified. Without air cover, they suddenly find themselves extremely vulnerable.
Very.
Formation. They're coming from the north.
Beckton takes one look at the screen and his blood runs cold. He would later write, "That screen had so many dots on it that it looked at times like an advanced case of chickenpox."
Everyone.
I
to
like
battle
his little
station.
chuckle when
Enter.
talking about
Give us
that.
everything you've got. Where are the Corsairs?
The Corsairs still aren't responding, sir.
A sense of doom washes over him.
Oh no.
They're alone. Alarms blare across the ship, and men are sent running for their posts. From the formation, 6 kamikazes peel off to hunt Laffey, starting in a slow circle. From a distance, 2 make their move and pounce.
Target, sir. 11 miles out. Closing fast.
Flanking speed.
9 miles out.
Stand by for main battery.
Outside,
Main
everything
battery?
stands still. Men have their eyes locked on the sky, gripping the firing button as they listen to the distant rumble of engines getting closer.
7 miles.
Those dudes
At the
sitting on
last
top of
moment,
those
Beckton
big ass
decides
guns.
He's moving to the flying
Your
bridge.
TBI is
Let's
not
drop some
service
lead on these
related.
mother-
Fire!
Yo!
Just in time to witness.
Wait. I gotta hear that again. That was a dope ass line.
At the last moment, Beckton decides he's moving to the flying bridge.
Let's drop some lead on these motherfuckers.
Fire!
He's
Dude,
just
that's
in time
such
to
a
witness
fucking movie
the
quote. I
powerful
love it.
boom of Laffey's 5-inch main guns. The sky is littered with flak as the first pair of kamikazes dive in off the ship's bow. The brave Japanese pilot leading the charge through puffs of flak. But it's for nothing as a full 5-inch shell impacts the Japanese aircraft square on the nose,
Damn.
violently disintegrating it into a ball of flame. A second
Disintegrate is
Japanese
the
plane
fucking
charges
perfect
through the
term
smoke
for
of
it.
the fallen. The 40mm guns open up, shredding the plane as it speeds ever closer. But it doesn't fall. It enters the range of the 20mm, and they too join in.
Come
The
on.
entirety of Laffey is pouring out lead as fast as it can until the enemy aircraft finally rips apart, until it smashes into the sea 3,000 yards away.
Good.
But there's no time to celebrate, as seconds later, 2 more Japanese planes appear off the stern, flying at wave-top height. The Laffey's 5-inch guns take aim at the incoming enemies and open fire.
Oh, firing
The depressed
right
weapons
over.
are barely clearing the 20mm gun
Damn.
emplacements in their way.
Those guys just
The
got
crew of the
fucking
anti-aircraft
major
gun take cover
TBIs.
as they're hit with the muzzle blast. Becton orders a turn, trying to bring more guns to bear as the enemy gets ever closer. The Japanese pilot is just seconds from impact when a shell rips off its wing and sends it tumbling into the sea.
Wait, I like the little tidbit right here. You look. So I think this is a 2-seater plane. I like this little. Wait, if they're kamikaze. Makes sense either way. I like the little tidbit here that he doesn't have a second person in with him.
Rips
Because
off
they're
its wing
kamikazes.
and sends it tumbling into
At least
the sea.
I'm assuming that's how it would be.
The fourth
anyway.
plane also attempts a daring charge, braving the exploding shells and storm of lead. The Americans fire with all they have, and the enemy stubbornly presses on, desperate to take as many Americans down with him as he can. Laffey
A little
punishes the enemy.
grr in there.
The plane cartwheels across the sea before sinking beneath the waves.
Damn.
Got it! There's another one!
But they're still not done. The
there's
last
another
2
one.
of the 6 aircraft charge to the attack, one from port and one from
shit.
starboard.
That was a
Most
cool
guns turn to
reveal.
starboard and
Seeing him
open
turn
fire,
and then
but
seeing it pop
meanwhile,
up behind
the
him.
portside plane pushes through with lesser resistance, rapidly accelerating towards the ship. The starboard plane is torn to pieces, falling from the sky as flaming confetti. But the Americans have ignored the second enemy for too long. He opens fire with machine guns, strafing the Laffey and inflicting significant casualties on the exposed sailors. The guns rush to fire at the last plane as it careens down
Why the
towards
fuck am
the
I
ship.
yawning?
A wall of shells meets it in return.
Oh, that's some Matrix shit. Oh, that's a cool visual.
But nothing can stop gravity, and the flying wreck is coming straight for the ship.
That was such a cool
Sailors,
visual. I
seeing
love
the incoming
that.
plane flee for their lives, shouting and running while
Yo,
the rest
homie
of
just
the
hit that. Homie hit
Sailors,
that shit.
seeing the incoming plane flee for their
Ugh.
lives, shouting and running while the rest of the
Homie hit
ship's
that
guns
backflip.
open fire to the bitter end. Becton screams to turn the rudder hard to starboard in a desperate attempt to evade the enemy. The wreck slams into the sea with a soul-shaking explosion, its bomb detonating and sending a wave of shrapnel across the deck.
Oh,
but miraculously,
Homie just fell into the water.
the ship survives. The sky falls into an eerie calm.
I saw someone fall
Enemies
into that
still
water.
linger in the distance, but none pounce. The crew takes a moment to drag the wounded to the infirmary and compose themselves, having just enough time to get a drink of water and for the reality of their situation to sink in. After 7 eternal minutes of suspense, another enemy turns for Laffey. Becton turns the ship to give the incoming plane his broadside, allowing all his guns to unleash upon the enemy. The Val evades left and right, attempting to aim straight for Laffey's bridge. Becton can see the enemy's aim clear as day and orders evasive maneuvers of their own.
Homie Aura Farman just
Enemy
standing up
races
there.
in, but he's aimed poorly. He's forced to abort and turns away, still under fire. But once clear, he determinedly dives in for the Laffey's bridge one more time. Becton voices an endless stream of orders,
Rudder to port.
Aye, aye, sir.
Head on. To starboard. starboard!
Aye, aye, sir.
It's a high-stakes game of cat and mouse as he desperately hides the bridge from the Val's flight path again and again, the aircraft somehow still flying despite numerous hits. Aboard the ship, a gun captain leads his 5-inch turret from the hatch atop the mount when one of the barrels stops working.
What happened?
Overheat?
It's stuck. It won't elevate.
Cursing his luck and without time for a proper repair, the captain jumps off the mount, takes a hammer, and slams the base of the barrel.
Percussive
Meanwhile,
maintenance.
in the air, the pilot can feel his own aircraft falling apart underneath him, and in desperation, he gives up chasing for the bridge. He turns
No,
straight
he's
for the
gonna
main
go for
part of the
whatever
ship
part of
and
hit-
dives
whatever
in.
part he
the
can hit.
guns zero in on him, shredding his Val as one of the Laffey's turrets fills his windshield. The aircraft zips in and crashes on top of the gun, and destroying the hatch the gun captain had been in just 2 seconds ago.
Oh, that's
The wreck
lucky.
and a flood of flaming gasoline fly over his head, the Val flying off into the sea as the deck is engulfed in flames. The gun captain
Firefighter
and
crews
other nearby
instantly
men
on the job.
rush to get the flames under control. Becton watches the scene unfold, but then he hears the shouts of a lookout.
Contact the port. Coming in fast.
His heart sinks. He's been too focused on starboard. He orders the 5-inch guns to turn towards the new threat, but it's far too late.
I
and
say it's
can't
gonna be
turn in
too
time.
late.
40mm guns open up on the enemy.
Come on,
the
Bofers.
fate of the entire ship is on
Give 'em
their
both of
shoulders.
these nuts.
And in the most crucial moment thus far, they excel. The enemy fighter detonates in midair and falls into the sea just 200 yards away. The
Too
gunners
close.
cheer,
Too
but
close.
the nightmare is far from over.
Where on earth are the damn Grim Reapers?
Oh, radio's still screwed.
Then the 9th
Assuming they're
Japanese
caught up
plane
in other
appears,
shit.
skimming the waves on the port side, determined to crash into the Laffey. Damaged 5-inch guns are unable to attack. The 40mm guns open fire, nicking and striking the enemy, but it still flies and enters the range of the 20mm guns. They join in on the defense, but the enemy powers through. Fear grips the men's souls as they realize with dread
This one hits,
this
doesn't
one
it?
is not going to fall. Inside the Japanese plane, the pilot sees the ship fill his windshield. He closes his eyes. He never feels the impact. The Japanese plane crashes into the superstructure behind a 40mm gun. Its wing is ripped off. Flaming
nice
fuel
crumple,
sprays across the deck. The rest of the airframe falls off the starboard side.
That was a cool
and its
crumple
bomb
effect right at
detonates
first.
in the water. But some AA guns have been engulfed in flames, and the crates of ammunition start to cook off. One by one, the shells explode with loud bangs, glowing hot shrapnel, flinging off in every which way. In that section of the Laffey, firefighting becomes the only
That was a
priority.
cool effect,
The men
having the
rush to
camera
contain
get
the
blown
flames,
up like that.
saving the Laffey from catastrophic explosion. But the guns are still crippled. Another Japanese plane appears from the rear. Guns on the very stern.
how many of these
open
fuckers
fire,
are
but with
there?
So many weapons in the aft out of commission now. Their volume of fire isn't enough, and the Val smashes into the stern, devastating the interior. The stern of the Laffey is now a burning inferno, and without defenses, it's also the easiest place to strike. Another plane sweeps in, but this time it drops its bomb into the stern. The explosion takes out the ship's rudder and breaches the hull, locking it on a 26-degree turn to port. Laffey is now stuck in a perpetual circle.
Oh, that's not
Becton no
good at
longer
all.
has enough control to evade more attacks, but more attacks come. There's a huge number of enemies.
Don't
in the
worry, you
sky,
guys.
so
We know
many
how this
you can't
story
even
is.
count them.
You won't go down.
Becton watches as 2 aircraft peel off the circling swarm and dive into the attack. He orders the ship to flank speed. It's the only thing he can do, and it's not enough. The few guns in the stern open fire on the first incoming plane, but they're not enough, and the plane slams into the ship almost unimpeded. Dozens of sailors fall, and deadly fires spread. The second follows soon after, but its bomb fails to explode and clatters across the deck. A group of sailors manage to pick it up and throw it overboard. The
Oh, that's
swarm
fucking
continues
ballsy
to
as
circle,
shit and
waiting
lucky
for their
as
turn.
hell.
Somehow, the ship remains afloat, but Becton knows it's a hopeless battle. Laffey needs a miracle.
Corsairs, they're back.
There's your miracle, buddy.
A flight of American fighters charges into the scene. immediately cutting down 4 of the circling kamikazes and turning them into streaks of fire. The Grim Reapers are here. In the air, the swarm of aircraft
Such a cool
scatters in every
nickname.
direction, and a battle breaks out in the skies. But it's hardly a dogfight, it's a slaughter. The undertrained pilots in their obsolete aircraft are no match for the American fighters.
Yeah, and they also weren't
go down in
outfitted for
flames, one
dogfighting.
after the other. If you enjoyed this video, we'd really appreciate your subscription, and you can join us on
Already
Discord.
subbed, and I'm gonna
Thank
like you.
But Laffey isn't out of the woods yet. In desperation, several Japanese make a turn for the destroyer, determined to take the ship down with them. The first dives in with a Corsair hot on its tail. The Laffey gunners open fire, but miss out of fear of hitting their ally. Becton watches the Key
Valid-
43 with
valid
horror
worry.
as it comes barreling towards him. He drops to the floor, and the 2 aircraft both roar overhead. Both fighters clip the Laffey's mast just above his head. The Japanese
Oh,
plane
holy
spins
shit, that's
and
scary.
crashes into the sea, while the Corsair pulls up into the air, and the pilot, incredibly, bails out.
Oh, they must have hit their
In the
props.
process, the American flag from the mast drops onto the deck. Signalman Second Class Thomas B. McCarthy instantly told a sailor nearby.
We've got to get that back up there.
Hell yeah, brother!
In the middle of combat, McCarthy retrieves the fallen flag and climbs the mast. Becton spots him climbing, but doesn't interrupt, returning
What
to
a
command
G.
while McCarthy mounts
Middle
the
of all
flag
this shit?
high
Nah,
on a
bro,
cable
I'm still
for all
planting
the
this
sailors
bitch.
to see.
Yeah, got it. Good job.
4 more Japanese kamikazes
Yeah, guys,
charge
pay
in
attention.
one by one, and the gunners take them all down by the skin of their teeth. One of them is getting close as 50 yards before slamming into the sea.
Half a
Becton
football
is
field is
impressed
way
by his
too
men's
close.
gunnery.
Captain, we're in pretty bad shape aft. Do you think we'll have to abandon ship?
Nah, they ain't damaged
Becton
us
doesn't
that
have to
bad.
think it over. After so much courage by his men, so many heroics, it would be a crime to let us sink.
We ain't letting this ship sink.
Hell no! We still have guns that can shoot.
A bomber sweeps in and drops his ordnance into the Laffey's battered stern. Then another bomber charges straight for the breach. An officer sees it coming and tackles Becton to the floor. Moments before, a volley of bullets rips through the
Yo!
structure. The bomber roars overhead, but immediately after, it's caught up by a Corsair and cut down from the sky. Then another bomber comes in from the port bow with 2 Corsairs in hot pursuit.
Ah,
doing
damn, there's
all
so
the
many
damage
of
they
these
can
fuckers.
until it's hit in the ammunition and explodes right above the sailor's head. What's left of the bomber crashes into the waves.
Dude, the skimming,
Then,
I don't
suddenly,
know why it's so cool to me.
There's silence. After 80 minutes of hell, everything
80
felt quiet.
minutes?
The crew can barely believe it. Becton
Hour-
asked himself, why would the enemy let up? when he
Hour
was
and
so
20 minutes,
close?
yeah.
But then he looks up to see 24 Allied Corsairs and Wildcats covering them, and not a single Japanese in sight.
Took your sweet time, but
Still,
I'm happy
the
to
ship
see
was
you.
left a burning wreck, and Becton feared that after everything, they would have to abandon it. But they managed to keep the ship that wouldn't die afloat.
Yo,
The attack
it blew that shit wide open. Holy hell.
tragically claimed 33 of the 336-man crew, with 70 more injured. The Grim Reapers scored 33 victories during the defense. Incredibly, the ship that was attacked by 22 kamikazes and wouldn't die is still afloat.
Oh, it
You can
is?
visit the USS Laffey at Patriots Point Naval Museum, South Carolina.
It was fully restored. Dude, I gotta check it out. That's on the bucket list to go out and check this out. Kind of like how I want to go see the U-boat that's in Chicago. This is definitely on my bucket list to go see. Dude, this was a fun video, like always when it comes to Yarnhub. Like, I'm always a big fan of these. They're always super fun to watch. As always, go and check them out. They're linked below. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, you guys take care of yourselves. See ya.